Samsung Fold time. Sick, off to a good start. Where's the phone? No, it's in here. It's in here. The phone is in here. It's just weirdly packaged. All of this packaging for this slim box. First impression in unboxing this thing. Oi! Manual and a USB-C to USB-C cable. A nice, thin, black one. Oi, this is actually much thinner than I expected as well. Oof. I don't know if you can see that, but I can't see the crease. To be fair, I haven't folded it yet, but I cannot see the crease at all. Oof, that looks so good. It is ridiculously thin though. Like absolutely ridiculously thin. The cameras look sick. I think the cameras look really good. This setup of the cameras, and like I think it's a glass or something. And obviously this graphite colour. Oh, that looks really nice. From front on, I can't see the crease. But as soon as I look at it at an angle, I can see the crease for sure. Time for you guys to have a look at this.
Time for Baldy. I haven't used a folding phone in years, so...
Wait, I don't think you've ever used a folding phone.
It's the last one you got like years and years and years ago.
Was it a Samsung one? It was a Samsung one, wasn't it?
That is so much thinner than what because you just said a second ago that I want to be like really delicate with it. Yeah, it's so much thinner than I expected. No crease.
I think I need to set it up though properly so that you can see what it's like. But I
You're
think
right, you can only see the crease from like a certain angle.
that's what I found as well.
And on a white screen as well.
Damn, it's so thick. Okay, let's see this. This actually feels so nice. Hello? Okay, let me check compared to my phone. I feel like it's even thinner than the Air actually.
And the fingerprints already.
Oh yeah, hold it like that. Wait, it's not even focusing. But the iPhone Air camera bump though is massive. That's the only thing. It is really big, but yeah, when you look at it, actually that's a better angle. When you see the camera bump.
Is Apple going to base the Ultra off of two of these though? Because I feel like it's going to need to be a lot thinner. I must say it is super nice though.
But I actually think what Apple are going to do is obviously this is quite square. I think Apple are going to have a more rounded version because obviously the iPhone screens are all rounded at the corners. This is like square. So when you actually look at the screen, there are barely any curves on it. And I just wonder how the apps are going to work as well. Like, are we going to use iPad apps on the iPhone and then iPhone apps on the front screen? Because on this as well, already I've seen some reviews of people saying that they have issues with some of the apps where the apps are not really tailored or they can't access part of the apps. I saw Marquez's review, MKBHD's review, where he had an app and he couldn't access the bottom row of buttons for it. It was just completely cut off. I really do like the size, man. The size is so nice.
Are Samsung going to make Apple Fold? What?
Ever since I saw the Samsung Z Fold 8, I was instantly interested. The form factor is what had me most intrigued because of course there are rumours that Apple are going to be making a very similar passport style foldable device just like this. I've been using this for the past week or so and I switched from my iPhone 17 Pro, so naturally I'm going to be comparing it a lot to the iPhone 17 Pro. Those who are long-time viewers will know that I'm very much an iPhone user, very much an Apple user because I'm very deep in the ecosystem. I've tried previous Samsung Fold phones before, but this is the first time where I have fully switched over to one. I put my main SIM in it and have been using it extensively over the last week. And I feel like there is a lot to share, a few good things and a few bad things. I also just want to make it clear, I have bought this phone with my own money. Samsung haven't sent me a device, I don't have any relationship with them or anything like that, so I can pretty much say whatever I like. When it comes to the size and the sort of design of this thing, it is genuinely a game changer for me. I love the passport style form factor and it's very, very comfortable to use. I think this may actually be the best form factor for a foldable. It just feels very natural in this sort of passport style. You can see compared to the iPhone 17 Pro, the aspect ratio is totally different. The Z Fold 8 is a lot more square in comparison to the iPhone 17 Pro. The front of the phone has a 5.5-inch display and I do love how it's edge to edge. and then when you fold it out, it's 7.6 inches, which looks and feels amazing. Watching videos on it, I really do feel like is a fantastic experience, especially anything in HDR. It's very vivid and very sharp. And the folding mechanism, the design, the feel of it just feels really good. Samsung have made so many foldable phones now that I feel like they've nearly mastered it now. However, this form factor does bring its own issues. Apps aren't really tailored to either layout, and I feel like this will be an issue for a while, as the number of people buying this specific form factor is very small. So most devs just aren't going to be putting that much effort into making sure that their apps can fit this form factor. Most apps are just designed for tall and narrow screens, especially apps like Instagram, X, and TikTok. Some apps also don't keep their state when you're switching from the outer screen to the inner screen or vice versa. They require a restart, and X is one of those apps. So you end up losing your place in the app sometimes when you switch from the different form factors. But you know what is awesome? When the phone is folded out, having two apps side by side, it is perfection. I can have both Instagram and TikTok going at the same time, so I can now doom scroll at 2 times the experience. But seriously, for productivity stuff, this thing is so good. I can have Claude on one side and then a browser on the other. I could legitimately code and have a preview at the same time. I really do think this sort of 2-app experience on a folded layout, it's honestly just so good. It's one of those things where you really do have to try it to experience it. The crease. So the first few days that I was using the phone, I didn't notice the crease at all. But naturally, as I've been continually folding and unfolding the phone, the crease has become more prominent, but you do forget about it quite quickly. It's one of those things where it's only when you notice it, you notice it. As you become engrossed in whatever app you're using, you sort of just ignore it. The best way I can explain it is when you're using your vision, your nose is there, but you don't really notice your nose is there. You kind of just ignore it. But then when you do notice your nose is there, it's there and you're like, oh yeah, my nose is there and it's blocking half my vision. That's the best way I can explain it when it comes to sort of seeing the crease on the phone. It does make me wonder though, will we ever actually see a proper solution to the crease? Because of course, if we're gonna have more and more foldable phones, the crease is always gonna be there. So I'm interested to see how the technology keeps evolving and how manufacturers can really master the crease and make sure that us users, us consumers, don't see it or just get used to it in some way or another. Something I really do like about the Z Fold 8 is the weight and the thickness. It only weighs 201 grams, which is actually lighter than my iPhone 17 Pro, but only by a few grams. But it's still just mind-blowing to me that they were able to make a foldable device that has 2 displays and is lighter than the iPhone 17 Pro. I also think it's crazy that it's this thin. It's not the thinnest thing by any means, but it's the fact that they've been able to fit 2 displays and it's still this thin. And when it's folded out, it's wild how thin it actually feels. It's genuinely impressive to me how far the tech has come along. The thinness does cause one issue though, and that is heat. And I've seen other people also mention it online. The heat that this phone gives off, yeah, it gets hot. It gets very, very hot. However, it very much depends on what you're using the phone for naturally. It depends on the apps and stuff. I found for me specifically, for some odd reason, when I'm using my email app, which is Spark, it gets so unbelievably hot where it's almost unbearable to touch. And in the summer, these summer months where it's been hot, it's just uncomfortable. In the winter, I feel like it'd actually be great because it would make a great hand warmer. But clearly, Samsung are still trying to figure out the software, they're trying to figure out the phone because it does get uncomfortably hot. The speakers on this thing, there is no nice way to put it, they are just not that great. They are not great at all. And the other issue with the speakers is that they're on one side, they're actually on the sort of outer screen, this one side here. So there's one speaker at the top, one speaker at the bottom. So when you do have the phone folded out and you're watching a video, all of the audio just sounds like it's coming from one side. Yeah, it's just not a great experience. And naturally, because it's such a thin phone, there's only so much they can do. You know, there's compromises they have to make. But yeah, if you're hoping the speakers are going to be good, you are just going to be disappointed, unfortunately. I think using a pair of earbuds is just going to result in a much better experience. There's 2 cameras on the back, a standard and an ultra wide. They're okay. Obviously, they're not as good as my iPhone 17 Pro. They're just okay. If you really prioritize the camera in a phone, then this probably isn't a phone to go for. It just doesn't really make any sense. Don't get me wrong though, it's definitely good enough for everyday pictures. I slapped some of my presets on and I feel like they look okay. You know, it's just gonna be okay. There is one camera on this phone that bugs me though. and that's the camera that's placed on the inside screen. I feel like it's very annoyingly placed. In portrait orientation, it's very noticeable and glaring because so many apps have their menus and sidebars on the left. There have been a couple of times where I'm using the phone, I'm using an app or whatever it might be, and I've swiped away at the camera thinking there was something on my screen. I'm not really sure what the right solution here is, because obviously you need the cameras, but yeah, it's just a little annoying thing that I found. From the week that I've been using it as well, the battery has been really good. There was a day that I spent in London for 12 hours straight, and I was hotspotting, using the phone to take pictures, using Google Maps, researching places to eat and shop and all sorts of other stuff. And by the time I got into bed, I had around 30% still left on the phone. So I was seriously impressed at how good the battery life is on this thing. The thing I've realized with this is that foldables really do make a lot of sense. The issue is they're not as refined as a standard phone. The idea of having both a phone and a tablet in one is so damn useful. I'm totally sold on it. But there's still so many sort of little and minor issues that need ironing out, things like the apps, the crease, and the cameras. And this phone isn't cheap. It starts at $18.99, which is a lot of money. For many people, that price just doesn't make sense when considering you can get a very, very good smartphone for nearly half the price. What this does make me most excited about though is Apple's version of the foldable. What are they going to do? And whether they're going to either release it this year, next year, or maybe they never release it, who knows? There's just been a lot of rumors. But I really do feel like Samsung have been doing it for so long and they've sort of had so much experience in building foldables. Apple have got quite a lot of catching up to do. But that's what Apple seem to be good at, right? They let everyone else sort of figure out all the minor quirks and details, and then they come along and somehow make their own, which is just as good or if not better. And this is actually a good thing, because if manufacturers are putting in effort to make all these different foldables, making them better, Apple come along and make their own as well, there's going to be a lot more competition. And it means that the devices are going to continue getting better, and we're hopefully going to be paying less and less. So over time, foldables I really do think will make a lot of sense. For now though, I will be switching back to my iPhone 17 Pro, mainly because I'm just still so deep in the Apple ecosystem. I'm so used to using iOS, macOS, iPadOS, all that sort of stuff and how they all work with each other. But if the Z Fold 8 were to somehow miraculously run iOS, I think I would have actually permanently switched to it, which is basically my way of saying that I have very high praise for what Samsung have done here.